Hello everyone and welcome.
Sorry, continue with the intro.
Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we are doing...
Ignore it, I'm just fixing it.
Today we are just going to be doing another reaction with
Mr. Nightmare.
Yeah. This is the one last one we watched was the Lockdown. 3 True File Drill.
And then we're watching 3 creepy True File Drill stories.
Yeah.
This should be good. I've never heard this one before.
Yeah.
And then we're going to watch a different one after this one. So we might just continue watching this.
Okay.
We might continue this recording, just watch it.
Beep.
Beep. Beep. Oh.
Oh, there's no jump scares.
I don't think there is. I don't know about the videos. Don't. What are you doing?
Doesn't look like it.
I was 14, 8th grade, last year of middle school. I had to go. So I got up from my seat in math class, took the wooden plank that was supposed to be the bathroom pass, and strolled through the hallways to the bathroom. The bathroom on the main floor had a sign on it saying out of order, use upstairs or downstairs bathroom. A random older guy walked up to me and asked with a smile on his face if I knew where the nearest bathroom was. I told him yeah, either upstairs or downstairs. He thanked me and walked to the stairs. So to avoid more potential conversation with the guy, I went down. I wondered who that guy could be. Definitely not staff. Maybe a parent. I went down to the lower level, which was literally only for bathrooms and extra locker rooms for the sport teams. I opened the door to the bathroom. The light was off, as usual for this bathroom, since it was the least used one.
Oh gosh!
I went to the stall and shut the door. I covered the toilet seat with paper and sat down. Suddenly, there was a white light flashing in the bathroom, and I heard the sound of the fire alarm outside of the bathroom. It was a fire drill. My heart dropped because I didn't know what to do. It was the first fire drill of the year. Would I get away with just using the bathroom while everyone else was outside? At this point, I figured I'd just do it. The flashing light got a bit annoying, as did the alarm coming from outside.
I would just get out of there.
Suddenly, the alarm got much louder. Then I realized it was because the door opened, and over came marching somebody right to my stall door. I saw their feet underneath the stall. I thought for sure it was a teacher coming to check the room for any students. They didn't say anything, though. I didn't know if I should say something or not.
This is creepy.
I looked at their shoes. They were just facing the door. But I noticed they weren't just standing there. I saw through that dreaded 1-inch crack of the stall door that everybody hates. Someone's face pressed up against it. Most apparently, a man's eye, open as wide as possible.
Oh gosh.
I didn't think
then there was a chuckle from the other side.
Ow!
I was breathing heavily now, heart racing too. I didn't know if I should scream or not.
That's creepy.
Then, the person got on his knees and stuck his head underneath the stall to look at me.
No, please
It
no
was
jump
that man from the hallway.
It's not gonna jump scare. Come on.
When he saw it was me, he literally crawled under the door and into the stall and grabbed a hold of me, covering my mouth first thing. I remember he said things like, "Don't struggle and just relax." I didn't know what he was going to do to me. It was an unreal feeling. Like my life was flashing before my eyes at such a young age. An age that you think you're invincible. Then, the fire alarm got louder again as the door opened. It was the principal's voice. "Is anybody in here?" I screamed, and though muffled through the man's hand, the principal heard it and came rushing over to the stall trying to open it. He screamed to open the door. The man let go of me, opened the door in the principal's face, and ran for it. The principal was a very old man, so he didn't chase after him. The school also didn't have cameras at this point, so as far as I know, the guy got away. The principal actually hugged me and was very emotional, telling me to come with him so we could call my parents. All my friends saw me almost in tears walking with my parents to their car. It was humiliating, but I was also just happy.
He's still alive.
The principal saw the man pull the fire alarm and run downstairs. So he slowly but surely made his way down there and checked the bathroom.
What was he gonna do to the little boy?
Probably kill him.
No.
Or maybe he was trying to force him outside, maybe?
Probably they kidnap him and like, people kidnap little children and sell them off into slavery. He's probably gonna do that, most likely. Either that, kidnap him, do stuff to him.
I kind of want to be homeschooled now. Even though that I know we have like I know if this next time this happens, I'm gonna be like, is this real?
Don't worry, you gotta just stay with
These are really rare, though. That's why
This was good.
Anytime I go to the washroom, I go during breaks, just in case.
If you do homeschool, right?
Yeah.
You can join gym class with me.
Yeah.
And we can see each other every Tuesday. And you don't have to get up at like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
You get up at like 9 or 10.
Walking with my parents to their car.
Yeah. And then
It
you
was
get to meet
humiliating.
all your friends and stuff.
But I was
around for a
also
while.
just
It's a lot of fun.
happy.
I'm really
The principal
stoked.
saw the man pull the fire alarm and run downstairs. So he slowly but
Oh,
surely
that man pulled the fire alarm.
He pulled the fire alarm to get everyone outside so he can kidnap someone.
No
I guess he was watching the little boy go downstairs to the bathroom because he.
That might be another man that went upstairs. Then maybe when he went downstairs, he maybe.
No. Like I guess he was going upstairs, and then he waited for the little boy to go downstairs.
Yeah.
So he followed him. No, he went. I guess he went upstairs, pulled the fire alarm, right?
Yeah.
Went downstairs because he knew the little boy would go down there. Or was just looking for the little children.
He was 14-year-old.
14?
I know you guys are probably getting mad because we're not doing it, so we're gonna keep going.
his way down there and checked the bathroom first thing. He unfortunately passed away 5 years ago. I still have great appreciation for that principal. He was my hero in a certain way.
That's a good principle.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
good
that
passed away,
deserves a couple claps. These are really scary.
though. Not that scary, to be honest.
It's a little bit scary though.
If you just don't think about that.
Back in high school, fire drills were usually a lot of fun, depending on what class you were in
I've been in a
and
fire
which
drill.
friends you were with. One particular dark,
we'll
cloudy
have a
day
story
during
after
third
this.
period, my friends and I, who were in the same class, heard from the grapevine that there was going to be a fire drill this period. It was a Friday close to the end of the year, and there was really no work for any of us in our later classes. So we figured during the fire drill, we'd sneak down to the sump behind the school by the woods and smoke. We waited
how old-
anxiously for
how
that
old were they?
ear-piercing ringing to go
I don't
off,
know.
and when it did, it was music to our ears. We looked at each other and laughed, and we were the first ones out of the class and down the hall. While everyone else on this side of the school was headed to the front entrance, we were on our way to the back entrance by the woods. We walked out in the middle of the crowd to the back section of the school by the basketball and tennis courts. We were pretty strategic about our escape. We made sure there were no teachers in sight and crossed through a narrow opening between the
That's
tennis
really
courts and a line of bushes.
Big
That led straight to the sump. A couple of kids watched us and probably thought we were a bunch of weirdos, but it didn't matter. We made it to the sump, which was literally a giant hole in the ground surrounded by bushes and trees, right at the edge of the woods.
That's creepy. I don't like
It
that.
had a nickname, but I don't remember it. All I know is it was the place that everyone came to drink, smoke, and do other drugs at night. Kids even had bonfires there before. It was a really dark day. The clouds were a darkish gray, giving the morning an almost early night kind of feeling.
Leave it alone, dude.
The breezy air hinted at a storm approaching too, which honestly just made it more fun for some reason. We waited until all the commotion had quieted down,
He
and
deserves.
we assumed everyone went back
No,
inside.
no.
Then we started
Like,
talking
depending
and
on what
laughing.
happens, like,
Yeah.
it was their fault.
My friend went through his bag to get out that pipe and grinder.
Gosh.
That's when I noticed something in the distance by the woods.
They gonna do a bong?
It looked kind
Slender
of
Man?
like a person's face. A couple shrubs covered where the body would be. But what I saw just looked too much like a face. I
Then
looked
so
away for a
slow down,
second
go
to get
up.
my friend's
No, go
attention,
up.
and then pointed in the
It's
direction
fine,
of
Seth.
it.
It's fine.
But when I looked back, it was gone.
It's fine.
Slender
They thought I
Man
was an
is
idiot.
slender.
It's
Now that
not-
it was
it's not.
gone, I was
Probably
like
some
70% sure what I saw was a person. The other 30% of me wasn't sure if I was just imagining things. It was very
That's
dark
me.
after all.
That was me.
They
Oh,
didn't
that was
want to
the
move
thing
though,
squeaking.
so I didn't either. We smoked, and the higher I got, the more paranoid I got. I secretly never really enjoyed smoking too much for that reason. It gets me paranoid. but I went along with it just because it was what my group of friends did.
Or what are they doing?
Now that I was high, all that I was thinking of was that face in the woods.
I think
Did
they're
someone
doing-
see us? Were we gonna get in trouble? That's all I could think about. My friends wanted to walk through
Doesn't
the
look
woods
like
now
much.
to an old shack that used to be used by the school for something.
Looks like it's just.
It was about a minute walk
Ooh,
into
that's
the
cool.
woods.
That's cool.
I was uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, he's very clever with
The air
way
started
he
to
does
feel
this.
moist, and I started to feel those tiny pre-storm
Does he see
rain
anything
droplets.
alive?
I once again warned them that we should go back because of the storm. They kind of ignored me. On the way there, I swore I could hear footsteps that weren't ours. But honestly, I was so high I didn't even know where I was hearing them from. In front of us, behind us, to the left, right, I had no idea.
To the left, to the left, to the
Then,
left.
from behind us, I was sure I heard a big stick snap in half. I stopped and turned around, saying loudly, "What the fuck is that?" My friends stopped too, but they didn't hear it
No, you
apparently.
didn't. Absolutely.
There was nobody visible behind us, and once again, my friends thought I was an idiot. Apparently, I seemed like I was losing my mind because I became the blunt of all my friends' jokes after that. The big old shack finally came into view. It was bigger than I remembered, and
Yeah,
more
you need
creepy
new
looking.
friends, dude.
The school stopped using this old building years ago, probably because it looked like it was about to collapse.
That's
Even the
creepy.
path
No,
that led to
screw
the front
that.
door had grass growing through the
That's where you're gonna
cracks.
find some like a murderer.
The front door was wedged
Psychopath.
open, of course.
Wait, I missed that.
The front door was wedged open, of course. Surely students came in there all the time. My friend Jack pushed open the door fully with force. It was so dark in there. There was little light from outside to begin with.
No.
No,
It seemed like there was
no,
just
no.
a bunch of old
Look,
empty
there's
crates.
nothing there.
A lot of them
I know, but
smashed to
they could-
pieces.
They could.
It
Is
was
it?
a kind
What
of
is that?
nasty
What
smell,
is that? Is that a
however.
spider?
One
What
that
is
my
that thing?
friends didn't
Oh, it's
remember
wire.
the last time we were in there.
Piping.
No wonder.
The sound of something squishy plopping on the ground, and then a foot hitting the wood floor made us all jump.
That
In
was
the
just
corner of the room was the shadow outline of a really tall person. We could only see him
He's
due
gonna
to
play
the little
someone there.
amount of light sneaking in through the
He's
window.
gonna like animate
He
someone
didn't
there.
scream or
I
anything.
know.
We simply walked out the door the way we came in and walked quickly back in the direction of the school, aka civilization.
There's nothing there.
All three of us took a look back at the window nearest to the
I'm looking.
person, and I swear
My
to God,
cabin's
at
creepy.
that exact
Burn
moment,
it to the
the
ground.
first flash of lightning struck, and what we saw during that flash was nothing short of horrifying. There was a guy with a seriously deformed face standing at the window, and I don't mean to talk ill of anyone with any kind of deformity, but this man almost didn't look human. Half of his face seemed to be drooping down. You couldn't even see one of his eyes.
Ugh.
He was so close to the window
This
too,
isn't
his face was
true.
practically
This
pressed
is
up
not
against
true.
him.
It can be.
I initiated a run, and my friends followed.
You cannot
We
find
got
it.
back down to the sump.
You can't-
This doesn't sound real.
No, it doesn't. You can't find someone
It says 3 creepy true. This has to be true.
just because someone says it's true doesn't mean.
No,
it is.
no, like when he gets told something, he Googles it. He does all this type of research about the story.
Yeah, just it doesn't.
Like sometimes he's not sure, so he just calls it 3 creepy fire angel stories or something. Like if this one wasn't true, he would like do like 2 creepy true fire angel stories and like 1 non-true or something. I think this one's true because there are some very deformed people in this world.
How could you find someone drooping? How could you find?
You gotta remember that people have deformed a lot.
Well, someone could have had like a really bad accident,
Yeah, but like
and they had to.
your face drooping down, like you're melting.
Maybe I could have been just extra like. I could have just been like extra fat. Maybe like a fat.
I don't know.
Well, that's rude. I'll say
Oh.
chubby. I'll say chubby. That's not. That's.
In less than a minute,
Not-
where we collected our thoughts on what to do next, just as the rain started
Watch
to
him zoom
finally
in on
come
the
down.
window and there's gonna be something there.
Just then, my friend Jack pointed up the hill back to the woods. There was a person standing behind a shrub,
Oh,
exposing
heck, now
only
I'm
his
getting the gun.
face, just like what I saw before. This time 10 times closer, but still not close enough to describe his face. All I know is it wasn't the same person as in the shack.
So there's multiple people.
We ran back to the
The
school
color.
and hid by the back entrance where it was dry. We all came to an agreement to just go home, forget about what just happened, not to tell anyone, and never go back to that shack again. And that was exactly what we did.
But those guys know what you look like. They can follow you.
That it? I think it's over.
No, there's one more. There's one more.
Oh gosh, this does not seem.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone. You're peeking.
It's a lot of that.
Come on. I'm here with you, dude.
I know. It was fun.
This guy's clever with his edits. Like, it must take a while to get all these pictures all set up and like get all these stories because there's so many he
Our
has.
school had this door that led down to a half stairway to some weird dark hallway. A lot of students knew about it, but nobody really knew what was down there. The door only seemed to be open during fire drills, in which just about every door in the building is opened. My friend Kyle and I were particularly interested in finding out what was down there.
I wouldn't.
I'm curious.
I'll admit
kids.
I was a pretty bad student in my first 2 years of high school, and I got into a lot of
Yeah,
trouble.
curious teenagers.
So Kyle and I planning to venture down there during a fire drill wasn't one of our dumbest ideas. We had 3 classes together out of 8, so our chances of being in the same class during a fire drill was pretty decent, and luckily it happened during study hall. So as the alarm rang, Kyle and I ran to one of the bathrooms, which already had its door wedged open with a door stopper. We hid in one of the stalls until all the commotion in the hall was gone and everyone was outside.
Turn up a little.
Then, getting down those stairs was a piece of cake. There was a very dim light hanging from the ceiling.
I thought that was a
It gave
person.
off just enough light to see a doorway that led to another half flight of stairs.
I thought that was.
This one to complete darkness. We looked for a light switch, but couldn't find one. We used the screens on our phones as light to navigate the dark.
Uh-oh.
We found a door that had a do not enter sign on it. Of course, what did we do? We opened the door, struggling at that nonetheless. It felt like it was 1,000 pounds, and it scraped along the floor as if it had fallen off its hinges. When we managed to get it open, we found just a small, square room, maybe 100 square feet.
Barb walking around?
The room was...
Huh?
Is that your mom walking around?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Trust me, if someone broke in, I would hear that door bash open or something. They'd be like, "Oh,
wasn't
don't."
silent.
I
You can
clicked
use
it.
the space bar.
There was a little
Yeah,
clicking
but it's just
sound,
there. I use it.
kind of like a
You
metallic
don't have to look
dinging.
myself. Look
It
on.
was coming from a vent in the
It's a
corner.
picture. If there's anything
You had to
scary
see
in
what
it,
it
he's
could
gonna
be.
add it. Like
Maybe
he
an
added-
animal or something.
Like with that door thing, he added
But as
that.
we went
What?
closer, we started
like
to
the
hear
door thing that
grunting and
person
groaning
peeked
type
through?
noises.
Last video.
Kyle
He
dared me
added
to
that.
hover the screen over
He
the vent to see
animated
what
it
was
to go in.
inside. I really wanted to know what was in there, so
That's
I
a
did.
face.
What?
Doesn't that look like a face?
No.
From Five Nights at Freddy's. It looks like an animatronic.
Oh, that.
Look at the eyes. Okay, this is the eye, mouth, nose. Doesn't it look like a face? Yeah. Okay, you have to come over here. Come over here and look at it this way. Does it not look like a face? It looks like a face.
A
Here,
little bit.
eye. Here's the mouth, and that's the nose. Oh, those are eyes. That's an eye.
No, that's a slime.
That looks like an eye. Look at that.
Just because it does.
Pressed the screen of my phone up to the vents and got on my knees. Now I could hear breathing. I pressed my ear up against the vents and immediately felt something grab onto my ear.
Oh gosh.
I screamed in a panic, and Kyle quickly came and pulled the hand off my ear. I jumped away from the vent first of all, and saw a hand reaching through it. Kyle and I ran out of there, shutting the do not enter door behind us, and running back upstairs to the bathroom.
I'm Walking Dead.
The next day, Kyle and I went to talk to the janitor, Tom. He was one of the janitors who didn't really give a crap about his job. He didn't even seem angry about us going down there. He just asked what we were doing. We explained what happened and asked if there was somebody working in the vents. He said nobody had been in that room for years, nor was there any way into that vent down there. Kyle and I looked at each other, and I knew his heart sank just like mine did, as we both stood there wondering, who was in that vent down there that day?
So that's an eye.
There?
Yeah.
Where's the nose? There?
No, like this looks like an eye here on this side.
Where's
Kinda.
the nose?
Okay, this is the nose. it's hard to see, but that looks like a nose, and these are the eyes. I'll tell you, that looks like an animatronic's face from Five Nights at Freddy's.
I don't see
Leave
it.
in the comments. Comment if that looks like a face or not.
Yeah, comment that. Comment. Yeah.
Because that just looks creepy, doesn't it?
That does look a little weird.
Stop dying.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, it's done. It's done. It's done. Stop. Okay.
Okay,
So
guys.
there's another one.
No.
But we'll leave that for another video. Alright, guys. So that was the video. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe and like.
Yep.
Comment. We always read our comments.
And we'll see you all later.
Bye-bye.
Peace.